Hello and welcome to Miracles of Failure. Today I thought I'd do something different and talk about a couple of ways I could see Invasion Machine changing to become more of an amazing game. For those of you who don't know, Invasion Machine is a game that focuses on managing a coin operation or counterinsurgency operation, and as far as I can tell from what the developer has stated as his purpose for the game, Invasion Machine is supposed to be a game that attempts to depict how difficult it is to fight against an insurgency, balancing the hearts and minds of the locals while aggressing against considerably more hostile forces. For my credentials on the topic, I've served in the US Army and I've been deployed to a region in which coin operations are still going strong. But first off, I'd just like to say that I think Invasion Machine is an absolutely incredible game. And if you like RTS games and you haven't played it yet, I greatly suggest you do. The concept is unique, the gameplay is rewarding, and honestly, it's just an absolute blast. But I do think that there are some things that it could do better at. The first thing that I think it could do better at is how the tactical layer is approached. For example, all squads move in the same tight wedge regardless of their situation or location, and more often than not, the wedge is completely unnecessary for the terrain that they're in. The grouping is far too close, and on a map that's as open and clear as Invasion Machines, there's really not much point to it. I mean, realistically, soldiers would be getting real far apart from each other, 20, 30 feet away from each other just so that they all didn't get blown up by one guy. So I think I would really like to see more dynamic formations, like moving in staggered columns on roads and spreading out the wedge more. And I think it would be great if they added a point to controlling squads in combat. So right now, it's kind of like you just set up your squad, you click engage the enemy, they start shooting, and you win or you don't. There's really no tactical element to that, right? And Invasion Machine markets itself as a real-time strategy game, right? I think there should be a strategy or a tactical element involved in that, Bonuses for hitting the flanks or assaulting through an objective or stuff like that, Things that made it not so click engage and then engage, The second thing I want to talk about are the enemy characteristics. I don't think that you should be able to see a bunch of guys that you have no line of sight to and then tell all your units to go and engage some assholes on the other side of a hill. I feel like, once again, it would add more tactical depth if enemies remained hidden until they were ambushed to your patrol. And it would force players to, genuinely consider security in terms of how they're moving out throughout this sandbox world. It would force players to think about actually setting up checkpoints, actually sending patrols down routes to make sure they're clear, stuff like that, as opposed to just marching your guys down and, oh, look, I see a guy, he's in a bush, I'm just going to call in an artillery strike from all the way over here and blow him up. So I just think it would really add to how the gameplay felt in terms of tactics. Another thing I would like to see for just balancing purposes and honestly kind of like my own selfish reasons is proper balance and realism with weapon systems. There is no way in hell that Private First Class Dingleberry is accurate with an M4 while the 50 cal mounted on the truck at the same distance he is from him is out of range. That doesn't make any sense at all. And it completely negates the point of having heavy weapon systems. Why would I spend command points getting an MRAP when I can pick up 5 fire teams of guys that outrange it and present a smaller target? I mean, 50 cals have incredibly long ranges in real life. I mean, some of the longest sniper shots in history have been taken with them. There's just no reason that a 50 should get beaten down by an M4. Now, this next one might just be me trying to scratch my base builder itch, but I think players should have the ability to construct FOBs on the map, forward operating bases. If Invasion Machine is trying to become a game that required more of a thoughtful managerial playstyle, there's absolutely no reason that your squad should be able to prance around the map for weeks and only occasionally get stressed out from all the combat they're involved in. I think if the game really wants to replicate the challenges of the coin operation, they need to make the needs of the soldiers more of a headline. The last thing I want to talk about is making supports less of a crutch. For example, if I'm walking my squad through a valley and I see guys all the way on the other side of a mountain, none of my people have any shot on them, I just know that they're there, right? And even if I don't have a line of sight on it, the fog of war just magically disappears. I can call in an artillery strike. 4 seconds later, all of them are dead. And I never had to put my units at risk. But supports have never been like that historically, right? When it comes to calling in close air support or artillery, typically speaking, you have to suppress the enemy for that to work. And otherwise, you're just wasting rounds. So I kind of feel like it would be better to force the player to actually have to think about having to use their supports, as opposed to, hey, I'm just going to farm some command points by dropping this artillery on these 9 guys who are standing over here like a bunch of assholes. So there you have it. It's my list of 5 things I would like to see Invasion Machine change to give us more challenging and rewarding gameplay. Once again, I just want to say that even with all its faults, I think Invasion Machine is a terrific game. And even if none of these changes ever came, I would play it again and again because it really is great. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any other ideas on how this game could be improved, please let me know in the comments below. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.